Three, two, one.
3, 2, 1. Robot and the Bear. 88. Lucky, auspicious 88.
I think it is
Something.
88, right?
Yep, it's
All
88
right.
because I think we decided like the last episode was 87,
I think
so
it
we're on
was.
we're on 88, and
And for one moment,
we went on a
Oh,
field
sorry.
trip today, this past weekend
On Sunday.
on Sunday. Yeah, we went to Anime Expo.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anime Expo, Los Angeles, Sunday I think we got there, what time? Like 12:30
yeah,
or
12:30.
thereabouts. And then
Yeah,
we found out it closes at 3.
yeah, but like I kind of feel like we were done with it
Yeah.
because by
Uh,
like
yeah.
by 2:30 or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it was really cool. I went last year just for a bit, and
right,
it
because
was
the
not bad.
documentary had
Yes, the GR documentary we went and filmed. Actually, that was in 2022. I didn't go last year.
oh, you didn't go last
I think it
year.
was 2022, and I thought I was going to be there a lot longer. But what
Hmm.
happened was we filmed parts,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden it was like we're done, and I was like, oh, I'm just wanting to look at everything, but it turns out they just filmed a little bit, and we were done, and then it was time to go. And I realized I should have drove myself, so I could have stayed longer. I was kind of like carpooling and stuff, and then all of a sudden I was stuck. I was like, oh, guess I'm going home. So
Right, right.
yeah, yeah,
But
that's what happened.
this time you got a taste. You got a
Oh,
solid
I got
taste.
yeah. So I think uh I liked it. It was really good, right? Anime
Mm-hmm.
Expo is a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um yeah, I don't see a reason to be grouchy about it.
Were you grouchy about it before?
No, no, not at all. I just heard some of your friends are grouchy about it. Aren't they grouchy about it?
Yeah, yeah. We hung out with friend of the show, Vampy Bit Me,
Yes.
and and it feels like I think it's the same thing with most people who actually live and work whatever kind of event is happening. Like for
Yeah.
me, maybe like it's design on or 5 points or whatever, or for you it could be those conventions, San Diego Comic Con, maybe for a while LA Zine Fest and stuff and such,
Yeah.
where like because you are an active like element of that community, you kind of see it in a different light than people who just go and attend it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
like
probably true.
when I go to like something like Anime Expo, I have no like actual like major attachments beyond just my hobbies, and I guess that's it, just my hobbies.
Yeah, but you like reading manga, you like anime, you like Gundam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this magic pyramid. It's like everything's
Yeah,
there
well,
for
no,
you.
but again, those are my hobbies. Those are
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that
Yeah. So you love it.
I participate in those things, during my off times. They kind of like, are fun to me. And so I just look at it as a fun thing. I don't, it's not a community I'm trying to become a part of, like,
I gotcha.
I think that's the thing, right? I think a lot of people who are, who work that event, see it from a very different perspective.
So
Uh,
you're like anime guy in private.
yeah, absolutely. While I was there, I asked myself the question, am I a weeb? And
And
I decided that I am not a weeb.
oh. Oh.
I know. It's too bad. It's because because I am nothing more than a fan. Like
I see. So you're not living it.
yeah, I'm not living
Oh.
it. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to like,
You know,
I
you
don't
make fun
even
of weebs though, I think.
what?
Like you inadvertently like enjoy making fun of weebs, kind of, right?
Sure, because mainly because I think I can empathize with them.
But it's because it's kind of funny.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I when I see these kind of events, the one thing I'm always just kind of maybe even a little bit jealous of is their passion.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I,
this is like I think we said it there, right?
mm,
This is their time. Like this is their weekend. And I say they, but I mean it's a huge community of folks that are just loving all of it, or it seems like they love all of it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
this event's massive, too big for where it's at. It's like spread everywhere,
yes,
and I don't want to get in anyone's way. Like I did the same thing at LA Zine Fest. The LA Zine Fest is filled with people. It's sweaty, hot. I get it. There are booths that are, like LGBTQ plus, like focused booths, zines, right?
right,
And like I could see there they have a crowd and a small crowd, but a crowd. And I don't want to like get up in that booth and go, look, man, me being a straight dude, just like, oh wow, really cool zines. It's just in the way of everybody else, like being
sure,
zine godfather and going, yeah, look, I've been doing this before you, and like
yeah,
taking all the space away. In the end, I stand back, let everybody do their thing and enjoy, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh yeah, no, you enjoy. I'm making space for you. Go, like
right,
it's in a
right.
way like this is their time. Like this is like anime
It,
manga fans. This is their weekend. Like you own it. They own it.
yes,
Take it.
yes,
Take it. Everything I look at, I go, that looks really dumb. And then there's like 50 like kids and all into it at Anime Expo. And I'm just like, all right, like,
all right.
go for it. This is yours. Take it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take a picture with this cosplayer. I don't want that.
No,
But you want that and you're willing to wait and you're geeking out. You're sweaty. You're excited. Go.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know?
Live your best life.
Go.
Make your favorite memories now.
That's what I would say. That's kind of what I saw, and I saw some good stuff too. So it's all of
Sure,
it.
sure. We
Yeah,
we we made our way to the artist alley.
yeah.
Yeah,
That part was for me was always fun. Again, like fairly crowded. It looked like there was commerce
fairly
happening.
crowded. It was crowded. I thought it was more crowded in the artist alley than it
Oh,
was in
it
the
was
on the main floor.
the main floor. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was because everything's tighter and. But yeah, no, people are into it. Looks like commerce was happening and looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Did you see anything that you liked? Did you see anything
Well,
that
we
you
walked,
thought was
me, you, and Linda walked through it, and you said you've already walked through it,
yeah, I walked
but
so I went 3 days. I went for 3 freaking days. And
wow,
the first day I got like was on Friday after 4th of July. I picked up my badge and I was like, well, since I'm here, like let's just, go check it out. And I walked through a majority of it.
wow,
And then
and it was more crowded that day, right?
it was more crowded that day.
Yeah.
And then I went back on Saturday. I went back on Saturday to meet mutual friend, Scott Barretto,
Oh yeah.
to like, like hang out, say hi. He lives in Texas, and so he's rarely out here and have lunch and stuff like that. And then in the evening, Linda had this like Yakuza game thing where like she was hired to MC this like event for the game Yakuza.
Wow. What is
Uh,
that game? Video
um,
game
it's a
or
video
board game?
game.
Okay.
It's a video game. It's kind of like an RPG action RPG game where you are like I'm going to assume that you are a Yakuza underling and you're working your way up. And you
Right.
do stuff like you do like rhythm button like karaoke stuff, and it all kind of takes place in like this like late 80s early 90s period, so like the entire soundtrack is like city pop. And so at this
Awesome.
event they had um you know DJs, and they had like a karaoke contest, and they had you know,
And
like
Linda, is she kind of like looking at people playing the game, or what is she doing?
she was emceeing, so the producer of the game and the main voice actor for the
Oh,
game like came out
I
from
mean, does she
Japan.
like did she like work on this ahead of time, or is she just on the fly?
No, worked on it ahead of time.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And asked questions and
Oh, cool.
interviewed
Oh,
them and
wow.
everything like that. And
Oh, it's
so
a job. It sounds like a real job.
like a real
Job,
job,
job.
like a
Wow.
job. And
Awesome.
so, we all hung out there, and we like saw like a lot I think a bunch of people like paid to like attend this thing. And like, I've never actually played the game. I'm familiar with the fact that it exists, but like playing it has just never like I just don't have
I've
time to
never.
play games. Don't have the time.
Wait, you did Animal Crossing?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
No time
um
to play games, but you did go to Anime Expo for 3 days.
3 freaking days. And then Sunday, I
That's great.
I came to meet up with you and Linda, and we checked it out. It's
That was cool.
huge. The
Yeah,
thing
no,
is
Anime Expo is huge.
the thing is stupidly huge. We even went to the hentai section, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we went through the artist alley, which was kind of fun because I was just looking for somebody that would catch my eye. Like lots of the work looks kind of, there's sort of similarities in certain styles. Like there's like super cute stuff. Then there's like the big boob drawings, and then but they all look kind of like they all look like polished. If some are just fan
Yeah.
manga or fan anime drawings,
Yeah, a
very
lot of fan
polished,
stuff, a
very
lot of fan
polished.
art.
Yeah,
It looks like
yeah,
a lot of it's drawn on Procreate, so it's got that
yeah,
really slick digital
yeah.
look to it.
But it's not shitty. It's good. But then I was just looking for something that jumped out at me, and I saw one or two artists that I thought, oh, this is like a little better than maybe everybody else to
How,
me.
how do you feel about like that? I mean, like obviously I understand why these people do it and show it here. Like, it's you know they kind of express their own fandom to a certain degree, and
Yeah,
like give, fans who share the same interests an opportunity to kind of have this maybe stylized piece of artwork of whatever, anime or manga or, you know, whatever that is being produced and printed. And it's a lot of prints. Like it,
yes.
yeah, it was a lot
Print
of
stickers, keychains. I mean, it's all over the place. But yeah,
right. It was, yeah, I don't know. I get turned off by that stuff,
I like it because I
really fast.
remember. I remember when I think the majority was shitty. Like you go there and you're like, wow, this guy sucks. That person sucks. Like it's just row after row of people that aren't as good. Now everybody's level is higher.
Mm.
Like I don't see and like the work that I'm calling shitty. I don't recall seeing anything like as bad as those were. Like this is just like 7, 8 years ago maybe, and I remember going, oh, not good, not good, not good. And then I'm like, now everything's like good at least, like like
Do
to a
you think it's
level that
because that these artists who are there have a better grasp on like you know like manga and anime style drawing?
I'm gonna assume they're better. Yeah, I think things have gotten better. Like the minimum to to show your shit is, I think, gotten better. You
Because
know,
like
I'm pretty sure, unless they're using some AI to like make sure that they just don't are not shitty.
I don't know about
Like
that.
please redraw my drawing to look better, please, and then push a button. Boof.
That would be pretty funny if that was how it worked. But like for I remember like in the 90s, and this kind of ties back to your magazine. Like I had issues with the hookups artwork,
Uh huh.
because like I remember very early on, like maybe in the early 90s, like the hookups used to just like clip, panels from manga and just use, copyrighted, you know,
Right.
images. And
Sure.
they eventually got busted for that.
Did they?
And
I don't even know.
I'm assuming they did because it stopped.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
Because I mean, I remember in the beginning, Jeremy Klein was the art skateboarder was dating someone, I think, and she was an artist and she drew a lot of it. Then eventually, it became a guy named Sean Cliver who was like a known skateboard artist,
Mm,
and you could tell the anime style changes to some weird hybrid, like or sorry, anime or manga. It's like it just changes a little bit to the point where it's like kind of is and kind of not.
right.
You know, had a really odd look. I was kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, this is really
Yeah.
odd. It sort of is, sort of isn't. But then earliest on was this girl who was doing the drawings that I knew of. I don't know if he exactly just clipped stuff, but she probably drew like a fan. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know, I thought she was more standard manga style, like
Mm,
more legit. But yeah, I don't know. I remember that's what they were doing.
okay. Yeah. And I didn't like it. I
Yeah,
wasn't a fan of that kind of implied, Japanese manga art kind of style, but was obviously not Japanese manga art,
right.
kind of thing. And I feel like what I saw in like the Artist Alley, like at least this year, was um, I don't know, like very much like in tune or in sync with the way Japanese, mangakas like draw.
Manga, yeah.
Um,
Sure. I mean, more so than like I remember many years ago.
yeah.
It definitely is. You know, the people have just gotten better at it. But it's just like the same thing as the craft fairs, I guess you would say. Like, you know, like there are crafters that make stuff.
Mm,
Back, you know, back in the day, it started at some point. There were people doing it, like young artists doing crafting shit, right, and making stuff.
mm,
And I remember I went to Design Festa in Japan. Like
mhm.
this is for Giant Robot Mag, right? So I think it was 15 to 20 years ago. I went to Design Festa, took photos. I was amazed first off at the quality. I was like, holy shit,
Right.
look how good everybody is here. I took a bunch of photos, published it in the magazine. And I remember some of the crafter people goes, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like the level was so high that
Right.
these indie kid crafters were just making shit. And then the level here had to catch up. Like, you know, and I'm going to say that that Giant Robot article probably did a lot to push crafters because I heard some crafters tell me that they saw those pictures and were just like, holy fuck, like we are garbage. And like, this is amazing, you
Oh,
know, and I remember that. So, and then, you know, of course the level of crafting now is way high, maybe equivalent to what you might find there, but
mm.
it's sort of similar. It's probably just like same as cosplay was probably, I remember when it was pretty bad here. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
you
the
know,
the
I remember.
cosplay has gotten, better. Oh, I mean, I remember I remember I was looking at cosplay in Japan in like the 80s and stuff. And it was probably like where it was in America in the 1990s,
Mhm,
you know.
just a little bit ahead, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but you
And
know, now people here are just psycho, man. I think the level here might even be crazier than in Japan.
maybe.
You know, now you've got like it's just next levels and just next levels up here, right? They're
I
using
think
technology better. They're probably not getting come down hard on. But didn't Linda say that companies come down on people in Japan for shit like using their IP as, you know, like cosplay or something?
I think they were very strict about it. Like
Yeah, well, here
apparently
nobody is, right? You can just do anything anywhere, and you know what I mean? Like
right.
a costume, you can do that.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah,
the thing that Linda was saying was that the like if you were going to cosplay a particular IP, you couldn't go inside the actual like hall.
yeah,
You had to
yeah,
do
yeah.
it outside, and which means if you want to go inside, you have to change and to something close, like I guess street clothes, or maybe
Right.
just something that isn't an obvious you know like IP of sorts. So, but we made our way to the hentai section. That
Oh,
was
the hentai section.
yeah, that was a lot more
Us.
interesting. That was
It
a
was interesting, but I thought it was gonna be one level more of hentai than that was there. You know what I mean? Like when I saw hentai, I was expecting like, you know, again, I think that hentai section is probably behind what would be in a Japan hentai section.
I don't know because Japan is so strict about like
But they're so
their
weird there.
yeah, they're so weird.
They're
Like,
they're so weird that I mean, no, not just strict, but I think they're more creatively strange in Japan, don't you think?
hmm, I think they're just repressed. They
Like
have those
yeah, that's what I'm
pornography
saying.
rules and
There's
um,
that, but they might have like a whole like fake upskirt section or something, right?
yeah,
Or they don't do that here, right?
but
It's like
I remember
they
like
here it's just like straight to porn, or like the levels of weird perversion.
mm,
I think Japan runs it
yeah, well, I mean
because they're repressed.
Japan like does like the lolicon stuff and they do like, like there's some like they cross bridges you cannot cross here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's that hentai section might be more interesting. Where I'll be like, oh,
Like,
you know,
yeah, I remember like the last one of the last times I was in Japan, Candy Bolton actually took me to this weird like hentai bookstore in Akihabara.
oh,
And I remember just looking around and I was whenever like I'm looking at for this stuff, I'm always looking for like the most disturbing, disgusting kind of like, you know, both perverse and just completely wrong stuff that you could find.
right,
And
doo doo kind.
yeah, I like there was the doo-doo kind that I've gotten, or like, insects poured into orifices kind. I've got one of
Oh,
those. Yeah.
did they have that at this?
No,
No,
no, no, no. It
right?
was
And there's no doo doo section in this or whatever it is. There's no section, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like in the Japan one, I would expect those things to be there.
right, right.
This is just, so that's what I'm saying. But there was a rumble hole. I mean,
Yeah, there was one guy. It seemed like there was only like it was mostly like maybe some pillows and
right,
like
and
body
I mean
pillows.
it's for both like male and female, right? Like some of them were like
Yep.
buff
Yeah.
buff dudes,
There,
and then there's like big boobied women ones, right?
sure,
It's like
sure.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just like
whatever your preference is,
yeah,
they got you
it's
covered.
there, but they don't have like animal ones. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
they're missing
no
some.
furries,
Yeah,
no furry pillows or some body pillows.
but
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 yeah,
but they did have like yeah, the rumble hole was of interest. I didn't under well, it's a product, right, called Rumble Hole or
right,
something.
right,
But it had like manga characters on the box,
yeah,
and it was a sex toy
yeah.
that I can't remember. It looked like some kind of like an intestine or something,
Yeah,
right?
it was supposed to be like
An orifice.
a orifice that's textured.
But the outside of it looks like an intestine maybe or something, right? Why
No,
it was
no, what you were
it
looking
wasn't
at was the bisection of the rumble hole.
okay.
Yeah, so like they had it cut in half to show that it's not just some
Oh,
smooth, sausage casing that, in there. Like, no, there's like all kinds of weird things going on in there to
but
please the
what
senses.
the thing was, what does the anime or art on the box have to do with the actual product in the, you know what I mean? Like is it like, oh, this rumble hole is
Wait,
emulating this?
you took a picture of it, right?
I don't think I did.
I think you took a picture of it, but
I
like
don't think I did. But like I don't quite understand, what does the box art have to do with the inside? Like is that box art manga character actually, you're buying that rumble hole of that character? Rumble hole.
a
Yeah, I
rumble
don't have
hole.
frankly I didn't take a picture in there at all. No, I
Oh,
didn't.
I took pictures in there
But I don't
because
quite understand what. Yeah, I didn't understand if they were related, or is it just like sell you the art because there's like a, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it just a selling point?
yeah, I didn't take pictures of
I
the
don't know.
rumble hole, unfortunately. Um, but like, yeah, it's I don't know. I thought it was I'm like it's what I'm well. I was actually surprised, like like whatchamacallit, like what is probably Japan's most famous sex toy creator, Tenga.
Yeah.
We're not
I mean,
there.
they're too big. I don't know. I really don't
No
know. But
way.
isn't that interesting?
From what
I
I
mean,
understand, they're struggling in the United States.
oh, Tenga, yeah, I don't think it's popular. But I mean, it is at Don Quixote all over Japan, right? It's like
Sure.
they have a whole Tenga section. I don't know if they have rumble holds there though.
No, I think you'd have to go to specialized places for that. You know, like
Anyways,
you'd,
it's
you'd
just
have to go to Akihabara in that place. There's an adult bookstore near the train station, like kind of near the Sega
but then
game
there
station.
was actually a short line of people who are buying the rumble holes. So
Yeah,
yeah,
people like, especially men in this country, are just a little too shy. They're not willing to, like, I feel like they feel like it potentially questions their masculinity. Like, men don't use sex toys, only women do, or some shit like that.
mm,
And I think that, like, guys need to, like, loosen up, get over their hangups, you know, stop it. It's all of everything in this world is just winding men up too much. That's the reason why we have the problems that we do now. It's the reason why 4chan is the way it is, or
oh
some
my
shit like
god,
that. So, you didn't get a chance to see the food section out there.
there was a food section.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of food sections. I made it to one of them.
Oh, I had no
Um,
idea. Is that indoors or in the
no, they're
lobby?
they're all outdoors.
So, oh, you mean outside of the convention?
And outside of
So it's like a
the
truck area or
halls.
something.
Yeah, but it's still like wrapped up in fencing and tents.
Right, I gotcha.
Yeah, and
So,
so
so this is it like across street somewhere type of thing?
no, it's on the same block as the convention centers,
Oh wow, cool.
but like I think it's like areas that used to be designated as like parking,
I
and
see.
like they turned it into, like, they just put up a bunch of tents. You
Like a
get
food
all,
court.
like, kind of like a food court, and like they had huge picnic tables underneath, like tents and stuff like that, and you could buy like okonomiyaki or takoyaki,
Awesome.
or
Awesome.
like udon, or
That sounds great.
some Korean barbecue stuff too.
That sounds. Did you get anything?
I had, on one of the days I went and I got some karage because I was starving,
Awesome.
and I was
Awesome.
like, the price was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you. I mean, you go to these things expecting on playing exorbitant prices for,
Yeah.
these kind of things. So, like, I was paying, I think I paid like $16, and I got like half a pound, which is like six big chunks of karage, which is, I mean, like,
Did Did you eat it all?
I ate it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't, I'm not going to just throw $16 away.
No, no, I wasn't sure if it was too much food. I was like,
It
oh,
was a lot of food, but like,
yeah.
fortunately, I was hungry, and
Hmm.
but yeah, it was, a lot of
Sounds cool. I
the
didn't even know they had that.
yeah, it was one of the we never hit the entertainment hall, aka the West Hall. Um,
Oh, what would be in that hall?
so the West Hall used to, like, usually, and it still does have, like, little sets that cosplayers can take photos of themselves
Oh,
in. Like, here's Japanese high school set. Here's a
oh wow.
space set. Here's, like, in the middle of a forest set, and whatever. And it's kind of fun. Meanwhile, like, a lot of video game stuff is, being promoted out there. I think Good Smile Company has their booth in that section because it's,
Well, unless they have more than one, I saw the Good Smile booth when we were just in the main hall.
oh, they have more than one. It's just kind
I
of like
gotcha.
Fuka, or Faku, or is it
Faku.
Faku?
Fakkau. Yeah.
Yeah, they
They have more
had
than one. Yeah.
they were in the hentai booth, and then they had a booth upstairs
Yeah.
with directions to go downstairs to see the main booth. We never got inside. The line was too long.
Oh yeah, yeah. The line was long for that.
Yeah.
We thought about it and we're just like, nah, the line's too long.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Um.
And then I think you said, "Oh, we'll just look at it online." The excuse for anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I'm just gonna go to
Yeah,
the Faku
yeah,
website and
yeah.
check that out.
So would you ever cosplay?
Oh fuck no.
No. Okay.
What about you?
I think I would do it if it were a gag kind of a thing.
Okay.
But I'm not a fan of any of these things enough to want to cosplay and be in character to pretend I'm that character. No, like
Right.
yeah, like put it this way: if I'm old, so if someone dressed me up and made me look like I mean
Mm.
professional makeup, and I look like Miyazaki, and it was like, oh yeah, Miyazaki's making an appearance, and like yeah, I have an assistant, I'll have photographers, I'll have a video crew, have this whole thing, and I'm walking around and I'm pretending I'm Miyazaki, like just walking around like an old man. Okay,
But would you
I
ever
would
dress up like what? Would you let them dress you up like Totoro?
that it would be too hot, man. That costume,
Yeah, it would be really hot.
it would be death, right? It'd be too hot.
But these kids do it. You know.
Yeah, no, and they find a way probably to have a bunch of fans in it or some kind of an air conditioner or something.
I don't know how they do it. I think they
Yeah,
just suffer through it. Like they'll do it
yeah,
inside because inside the convention center it's pretty comfortable.
yeah.
But like
Well, I guess that lobby might get hot, huh? When there's a lot of people.
yeah, and there's a lot of that. I took a lot of pictures of photographers taking photos of cosplayers. I
Hmm.
had very little interest in photographing like just cosplayers. I wanted to like take a picture of these photographers at them, and that's actually one of the points of contention that like a lot of the you know I guess influencers or those who are active in the scene have an issue with is there's a lot of predatory photographers. Um,
I saw some like kind of creepy older dudes that were taking pictures,
right.
and something about it just kind of made me feel uneasy when I saw them. And I was like, I didn't say anything, but I just thought to myself when I saw it, I was thinking that exact thing. I
Mm,
was like, oh, these guys seem kind of creepy, and they're taking pictures. Like,
right.
like what are they doing with their pictures?
Um, sometimes I think a lot of them are posting it on their own like social media in the hopes of getting like paid jobs out of it because like you have like amateur cosplayers who are just doing this for fun and like they're always happy to run into a professional photographer because it's a symbiotic relationship that they have there,
I see.
right?
Photographer gets a model
Yeah,
for
and a
photos
model
and
gets a
so forth.
photo from a professional from
Yeah,
a talented photographer.
you hope so anyway.
Yeah,
Unless they're just creeps.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
even then. And and I think this is just the kind of like it feels like this is just the way things are, throughout the world when it comes to the cosplay community. For, in general, a certain percentage of photographers are going to be creeps, and a certain percentage of cosplayers are going to be, you know, creeped on.
Yeah. I
So,
think I think when I went to Wonderfest in Japan, they had cosplay there when I went.
mm,
And I think I remember there was a lot of cosplayers. One girl was especially hot,
mm,
right? Like one cosplayer. She was especially hot, she knew it.
mm,
And she was sitting on the ground sort of like like sitting kind of like whatever, like
deductively.
sexy. Yeah. And I took a picture of her with a bunch of photographers in the background,
Hmm.
and it was like, okay, 10 photographers or more are taking pictures of her just sitting there.
Hmm.
But those same 10 aren't shooting all the other cosplayers. You know what I mean? It was just like they're, like they're just, and I'm in the background trying to take a picture of all of it.
Right.
But
Right.
it was just one of those things where it's like, they're all trying to get that same photo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
They're all trying to get they're
yeah.
all trying to get the hot girl photo or whatever they're doing,
Yeah,
right?
the
It's not
hottest girl.
it's
I'm
it's
actually
it's less
surprised.
it's less about the cosplay to me. I was more like, they knew what they were doing.
I'm
They're
surprised that there would only be like one specific one in Japan.
this was 10 15 years ago. So
Right.
there was one who was, yeah, the one who was more outstanding than the rest, if I could say that.
Mm,
You know, she knew it. So
right. Right.
she was exploiting that. And but tons of photographers, it's just it's how it is, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've never been
And I
to.
swear those photographers look creepy to me, all of them.
I've never been to like one of those events in like Japan. The closest I've ever been is Singapore.
Oh,
And like in Singapore, it like obviously it's pretty close to Japan. A lot of like cross pollinating. Singapore was a Japanese colony for a little while. A lot of this and that. A lot of people like
was it Japanese? I don't even know.
it was Chinese, then Japanese, then
England?
Malay, then and England and Malaysia. Like it was part of Malaysia for a while, and then eventually Malaysia kicked Singapore out because there's too many Chinese people there, and now it's just its own thing.
Wow.
But like I remember going to, where was it? I think it was like the comic and toy convention there last year. And I remember, or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. It was a while ago. Maybe it was 2019. And I remember seeing anime fans like doing very specific choreographed dances to anime songs to a
Yeah, yeah,
stage
yeah.
and stuff
It's crazy, right? It's all
Yeah,
like they actually have it all memorized or whatever. They know what they're doing.
right. And
I've seen concerts like that in Japan where I'm like, whoa, everybody knows what they're doing. Like choreographed kind of moves that the audience is doing with
right.
sort of
I
kind of like how minimal, but I mean, it's still, they know what they're doing.
do you think something like that? I think like something like that is trying to make its way to the United States. I don't know whether or not um it can really like take foot here, just because the variety of music that people listen to here is, it's kind of broad, don't you think?
Yeah. But I mean, there's like those, is it like death metal or whatever? And they have like people in the crowd doing their weird like styles.
Sure. No, but like
But I mean, it's still not choreographed. I'm trying to think of something that's a little more choreographed.
well, like say
Yeah,
like a Hatsune Miku show.
sure.
In Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid
Yeah.
artist.
Uh,
Um,
basically, basically electronic, digital.
electronic voice, digital programmed voice with a animated. I think nowadays it's a 3D.
Yeah. It's a hologram?
It's supposed to be a hologram, but I think the last time Hatsune Miku performed in the United States, which I think was during Coachella this year, it was just a projection.
Oh, wow.
And it seems like people are potentially doing the choreographed Hatsune Miku dances, but because every time I've like looked at live concerts, live footage in the United States, you see like the light sticks all swinging, at the same time in the same direction toward the stage, usually towards Hatsune Miku. But I'm not sure whether or not that's coincidence because they're simply doing it rhythmically, or if it is a choreographed dance thing. I wouldn't mind going to a concert, one of those concerts, just to like
Oh, in America, you
in
mean?
America, just to stand
Yeah.
back and kind of see it. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
and I would love to be able to contrast that by seeing a concert in Asia.
Because I saw some in Japan that are like that and choreographed moves, where people exactly know what they're doing. And I'm like, oh, they're totally like, they have practiced this.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
They practice. Their fandom is so like ingrained into them that they like.
But it's
Well,
weird. Like, who wrote these moves? Like, who created that? I don't think it's the lead singer necessarily or whatever, the singer of the group.
mm,
I'm not sure, like, who created these moves that kind of go with it. I don't know, you know?
I thought they a
Because
lot of
it's not necessarily the moves that the lead singer is doing, right? Sometimes it's not, or oftentimes it's not. And I'm like, what is, how was this made?
I kind of felt like I was under the impression, based on the media that I've consumed, that a lot of it is, what's the word I'm looking for here, is emulating the dances, like mirroring the dances that the idols are doing.
It could be, but I'm not 100% sure because I feel like I've seen somewhere. I'm like, what's this got? Like they're not related. It doesn't look related. It could be from a music video, maybe.
Oh, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
but
Yeah,
maybe it's that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah. No, yeah,
Yeah,
fascinating. It's fascinating
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I'm both I'm a fan. Well, I don't even know think I could say I'm a fan, but I find it all like pretty intriguing, and um just because, like, again, it's the power of passion, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's people who allow themselves to become fixated on, a very specific thing. And I mean, I think I can definitely say that I had, like, moments in my life where I was like a huge fan of this or a huge fan of that. And I think it's great. I think it's great to be able to find something that you can be able to um, find solace in, uh, maybe find joy in, and allow that to, like, motivate you to continue moving forward in your humdrum life. So I don't know. I mean, it happens a lot in the art thing. I'm sure it happened a lot in with your magazine back in the day too.
Oh, for sure. I think that was sort of a big part of the magazine is just going through the different waves of things where we're just like became super fan of something.
Mm,
Hong Kong movies was like a big one for a while. It was just
mm.
like super fan of it, loved it, and then then it goes to other things too.
Well, I kind of feel like the Hong Kong thing was just uh, uh,
I mean,
like
there's some of
things,
the movies were actually not that good ultimately.
right?
Like you look to the standard of cinema, it's like, oh, it's not that good, but I don't know, just liked it anyway because I was such a fan. I was like, no, it was good. And then I'm like, yeah, I can watch it today and I'm like, wow, that's not so good, like subpar. But then there's some of it was good. Like,
Well, a lot of it has to do with editing and pacing, right?
yeah, but it's also like you being a big fan going, oh, I don't care. I'm just a big fan of so and so in the movie. And
Right.
even though they might suck, looking back, I'm like, that performance is not the best, but what the heck?
What
I
was
was a fan.
like
I
I was
mean,
a
first off, I can't speak Chinese or understand it.
sure.
So I'm reading subtitles, but their performance sure look bad. You know what I mean? They sound bad, but then I'm like reading it in English going, oh, you know what? I can't even understand what they're saying anyway. So it's
Right.
all good.
Like,
You being bad in another language is better than being bad in English.
you mean, are you talking about movies like old
Just some
sweetheart films, or like
maybe other ones that aren't Sweetheart. I mean, there's a lot. There's so many, right? Hong Kong made like 800 movies a year that year.
right,
Those years.
right.
But there are some where like the actor was like in some other movie with another director, and maybe it sucked.
Like Chanya Fat, or like
No, I'm talking about other dudes, but I mean,
mm,
but still, it's like one of those things where it's like I can't understand what they're saying anyway. So if you're gonna suck, suck in that other
mm,
language that I don't understand. But if you suck in English and I
right.
understand it, I'm gonna be bummed. I'm gonna be like, dude, you suck because I understand what you're saying and you suck.
You remember the
I'd.
Swordsman movies? The Swordsman 1, Swordsman 2.
Is it called Swordsman though?
There was,
I remember there was one called Blade.
and then it went into like East. The third one was The East is Red, or something like that.
Fuck, I forgot. The East is Red sounds familiar though. It was
Yeah,
called Swordsman.
I think it was the third of the Swordsman trilogy,
Oh,
or
I
something
barely
like that.
remember.
Or there was like the Bride with White Hair,
Oh, those are
starring.
that one's a Choi Hark movie.
Oh, was that
Bride with
Sweetheart?
white hair. I think so. Bride with white hair. Yeah.
Who was the actor that was the actress that was in that?
I don't know.
She was so good. I think
It's
she
not
married.
Michelle. It's not Michelle Yeoh, right?
No, no.
Who finds her way to America and becomes a Oscar winner, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
no kidding.
Like she was in these Hong Kong movies.
here.
But
Let me
yeah,
look.
I'm like by any means not really this fucking
Bridget
expert on this
Lynn.
stuff. Oh yeah, that's her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Bridget Lynn was freaking awesome with
Yeah.
Leslie Chung. Um, yeah, I think I only had a access to a very select and curated collection of Hong Kong movies because at the time I was living in San Luis Obispo,
Yeah.
and
That's enough, man. Just a curated bunch is better than watching too many because there is a point where you're like you're starting to actually accept things that aren't so good and
right.
you're starting to accept it. You're going, "Oh, it's still good." And then it's like, "No, it really isn't." Right? There is like the curated version is probably better and it's
Mm,
already more movies from Hong Kong that are probably that should be good. You know what I mean? That like I said, it was I think Hong Kong was making the second most movies in the world at that moment a year.
mm,
And this is a little tiny island. I think India is number one,
right.
but I think Hong Kong was number two, and then America was number three. And there was actually more movies being made in this little tiny island with tiny budgets,
Mhm,
and they're making fucking crazy amount of movies. That
right.
was like its heyday. And
Right.
not like I said, a lot probably 80% is probably not good, but
Did you
good
ever
enough.
get into Bollywood films at all?
Just a little, not hardcore. I mean, I watched some because they're just funny and weird, but
Right.
I couldn't tell. I don't know who the best actor is in that and stuff, and
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
No,
No, but I just thought it was fascinating though, and I think I interviewed a Bollywood actor or two in my time.
Oh, really? So
I
you
think
did
so.
feature some in Giant Robot.
South Asians are my brothers too, brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
can't argue that, right?
I can argue it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
but
okay.
but I don't know if I should
No,
go there.
India counted too. India or South Asians also counted in for Giant Robot completely.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that Giant Robot was an inclusive
Inc-
space.
oh, we tried.
Have you seen that Ronnie? Have you seen Ronnie, the video of Ronnie Chang like going on with his monologue about how Indian people are not Asian?
No, I haven't.
It's,
That dude, he came to GR2. I met him at GR2, and
oh really?
yeah,
Huh?
gave him a copy of the old reprinted issue 1 and 2. He was interested in that,
I
and I
don't
was like,
know.
no, you could. I gave it to him. I was like, you take it, and he was like, no, I want to buy it, and I was like, no, take it. It went back and forth. Yeah, no, he was a nice fella,
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
really nice fella. Yeah, really
Yeah,
good guy.
yeah. His comedies, his stand up stuff usually shows up occasionally on my Facebook, and
Hmm.
he's I think he's pretty funny. Obviously he's sorry, the studio cat is trying to get someone's attention.
No, but he's Malay. Yeah,
He's Malay, Chinese
yeah,
Malay, I think.
yeah.
So yeah, but what was that? Was that recently or somewhat a couple within the past 5 years?
Maybe a year ago.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
Wow.
or less. Maybe less. Maybe yeah, less than a year ago.
Do you feel that GR2 is kind of or Giant Robot and GR2 is it's kind of like this like like mecca of sorts where like Asians kind of have to like certain Asians have to kind of like
Oh, they come kiss my ring.
oh no, just make the pilgrimage to come
I
out
see.
and
Because I
like
mean, I should just have a throne and just have a ring. No, I'm kidding.
no.
I no, but I met I met a bunch. Like BD Wong came,
Mm,
and he was in like workout clothes. Like it looked like he just worked out. He came and he was just like saying how much of a fan he was.
right.
And I was
Right.
like, "Whoa, you're a fan? Shit, I had
Wait,
no
who's
idea."
BD Wong?
He was in a lot of things, including like, is it SVU, like Law and Order SVU? Science. He's the enhanced computer guy, or no, He's the medical. I think he's a medical guy in that.
Okay. I'm sure if I
I
saw
mean,
him, I would
he's in
know.
a ton of stuff, and I'm kind of butchering his career right now. But
Oh, poor
he was
BD.
in the Freshman. Does that count with Matthew Broderick and um, the Godfather? No, he
Um
was in that. No, okay.
no, he's
BD Wong. Oh yeah.
He's in the upcoming Gremlins movie.
There you go. See,
Law
he
and
was really
Order
nice. Yeah.
SVU.
Yeah. He's like the forensic, one of the forensic dudes or something.
Mm,
He had that. I mean, that show goes forever, so I don't know how long he had that role for,
right.
because that show's been around for a long time.
Can you like spot these people when they walk off the street, like walk into your place, like you know
Maybe
instantly?
maybe a third. Like I
Right.
don't know. A lot of people I don't know.
Yeah. Like
I'd have to know who they are already, and if I don't know, then I don't know.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so bad at celebrity sighting. I
yeah.
kind of feel
Well,
that.
like Ronnie Cheng's a good example.
Mm,
I actually didn't know it was him the whole time until
oh,
later.
really?
Yeah, I was just cool to him, and I was talking to him, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool guy," and we were just talking, and he was nice, and whatever. So, and
Mm.
then I was like, "Oh, that was Ronnie Cheng." I was like, "Oh, cool, he's a cool guy."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like he was nice. Like he was pretty nice. I don't really know. I didn't really know his work or anything. You know what I mean? Like his.
Mm,
I'm not the best at recognizing people, so it's hard.
right. Well, do you consume like any like media?
I mean, I watch stuff on, whatever video, TikTok, YouTube, but yeah, at the same time, like, what's her name again? I'm blowing it. Sharp Objects. What was her name?
Sharp Objects. Never even heard of that.
Sharp Objects. I'm ruining it. Sorry.
Sharp Objects.
She's come in as a customer for a long time.
Oh, it's actually a show.
Yeah.
I mean, Eliza Scanlon, Sydney
No.
Sweeney.
No, I'm ruining it. That's not what it. That's. Do I have the wrong show? Fuck. No, it's not. They weren't even. Were they even in that show?
I don't know. It's a thriller called Sharp Objects. One season.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams.
So Amy Adams was like a regular customer, like, and I didn't know she was Amy Adams. You know what I mean? And she's pretty famous. And
Yeah.
like I didn't know. Like I had
Right.
no idea.
Yeah.
So she came, that's an example. It's like I didn't know. And then one day I was like, I watched something. I go, oh my god, that's the woman that comes in all the time. I saw Arrival. You know that movie Arrival?
Yeah, Arrival's great.
I think I saw that, and I was like, that's the woman that comes in all the time. It's her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's her. And then I realized I kind of missed everything she made, like everything she was in that was big, which was a lot of things. And I realized, it's like I just never watched those things. So she kind of escaped it. Oh, Pam Adlon's another one. Pamela Adlon, voice of Bobby Hill, and she's on what's it called? She has her own show that's like was amazing.
Mm.
It was called Better Things. Is that what it's called?
I guess I never heard of it.
Oh, there's billboards and stuff. And Pamela Adlon, though, amazing customer. Also, I thought she was she was in entertainment. I talked to her like yappity yap, fucking every so often she'd come in and I'd yap the shit out of because I know she's friendly and we just talk and talk and talk and talk while she's there, and I'm just talking all kinds of nonsense. She's talking back. We're talking across the gallery. Nobody else is there. We're just talking, right?
Right.
And then I was like, so like, what do you do? She goes, oh, I'm in entertainment. I was like, oh. I was like thinking, oh, she must be in costumes or like she's a background. She's the voice of Bobby Hill, but then she's also like has her own show and like she's awesome. In a bunch. She too is in a bunch of things, and I'm just like, you know what? I missed everything you've ever done in your career. Like I never seen any of these things that you're in. Right. And then then Better Things comes out, of course, and I'm like, oh yeah. Now she's on her own show, but. For a while, I was like, I thought she was in costumes. I'm like, you're a costume designer? Like, is that what you're doing? You know what I mean? It's like,
wow, because you definitely can't be in the front. You can't be.
No, because she kind of made it sound like she was, like in, I don't know. She just made it sound like she was like, I had to be in wardrobe or something. And I was like, does that mean you're like the costume designer? I didn't know she was in front of the camera,
Right. It's hard to.
Didn't recognize.
Wow.
Plus, people come unmade up or they're whatever they're supposed to look like on screen. They just come like usually plain. They're not dressed up. So, put it this way: Amy Adams has come. Nobody else recognized her in the store either. like she's been in there. Not once have I seen anyone. But then again, I might not have just noticed. I don't know.
Uh,
I
have
guess
you
it's
ever
just
had a
in the end it's just irrelevant probably. They're just trying to buy shit.
have you ever had a celebrity come by who like, their PR person calls ahead of time and asks
Nah.
for them?
Oh, no, 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 nothing like that. I mean, the only time was a setup with Rain. You know that Korean actor, musician, actor, Rain B, I guess. He was they attempted to make him into a Hollywood star. He was like a big Korean star,
Okay.
Rain B. That was all set up, and he came, got out of a car. People were waiting on the street. Like I don't even know how word got out,
Mm,
and like it was like in New York, General about New York, and it was like a paparazzi moment, and they set it all up where he shows up, gets out of a black car, and everyone's screaming, and then he comes in and signs autographs for like a little while, then takes off.
mm.
That was like a setup,
Do you think that all of that
and
was set up, like including the fans on the street and kind of stuff like that?
I, I really don't know.
I
Like
mean,
maybe
seems like
like
it's some.
people had signs and shit, and I was like, whoa, like I wasn't even there, but
That seems.
it was like, okay, wait, they contacted me and said, hey, we want to do this special thing, and it's like it'll be like tomorrow night, and it'll be Rain's gonna come to your store, and I was like, all right, so it might have been all set up. I don't know.
It sounds. Seems kind of sus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. So whatever, not important either. That's not like this big milestone in the history of Giant Robot. It's like just something that happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Oh,
wonder what
question.
happens. Yes.
Art recession. Let's talk about that. Switching
Oh,
gears.
art recession. Here
Art.
we
So
go.
we talked about is there an art recession last episode, and
Yes.
I think you went one step further on this, right?
I posted on my threads. I posted on my threads that I asked the question, and it seems like a majority of the people who actually took the time to respond to it. By the way, do you use threads?
No. I mean, yeah. No, I don't. I can look at it, but I don't use it.
Like I have like
Admittedly.
64 comments to it. Like,
Oh,
you know,
that's actually a lot, maybe.
yeah, yeah. I guess.
Wow.
I mean, it's quite a bit of response. Quite a bit of response.
On
Like,
my iPhone, how you have screens of apps, like screens of apps. Do you have screens
mhm,
of apps?
uh,
Threads is on my fourth screen.
oh yes, yes.
So, yeah, I'm not using it much.
No. Yeah, I still have Twitter or X on a higher priority simply because I
Wow.
use it as a news. Like
Yeah,
when a headline busts out, I go to it to look at the
it's
news.
probably a good idea. Like I think I got turned off on social media, I think, during the pandemic.
Mm.
Like I used to be really into it, right? Like it was like I'm putting out media, like social media. I'm actually putting myself out there and trying to do that. And somewhere during the pandemic, I really got turned off on it. So I don't share like what I'm doing or eating or any of that. I share very little. Like you're not going to see too much personal stuff where I reveal anything
No, I
like
don't share
personal.
personal stuff at all.
Well, do you ever? Yeah, but if you're at Anime Expo, you're doing something. I don't even know if I shared anything from Anime Expo. Like
um,
so
I
like it's like I just share like less and less
right,
of like where I'm at or what I'm doing.
right.
Like I don't go, here's my dinner. Look at this chicken. It's fucking tasty. Like I'm not doing that stuff. And I think I used to do that. I'd be like, oh man, I'm at some Korean restaurant and they made this really well. And I'm taking, I'm gonna share a photo. I might share a photo, but I'm not showing myself at the restaurant. I'm not doing that stuff. And
Well,
I
I've
just
got
got turned.
I
And
definitely have
that's all. Nothing's wrong with it. I just got turned off on it for myself. And I
yeah.
don't want to do it.
Well, I've got a secret burner account that,
Oh, you do?
of course,
Oh, good. I
but
don't.
like,
I don't have one. Yeah.
but and I occasionally post stuff there, but like, you know, and then like I use that account to follow the accounts that, are, I don't know,
Sus.
a little sus, like,
Yeah.
like, um, LA chases or
Well,
like,
that's not sus. That's important. What if you're driving?
oh, none of that's live. All it is
Oh, it's
kind of
not.
like, yeah, all of it is edits of KCal,
Oh, I see. KCal9. That.
yeah,
Stu. Stu. Or what's
yeah,
his name?
Stu, like, like
Oops.
I
How do
Stu,
I
like,
know this? How do I know this? Oh.
are you a member of the Stu Life crew group on
I'm
Facebook?
I'm not. I'm
I
not at
am.
all.
I am.
Okay.
But so like, but basically, the general consensus is yes, and then like a couple of like, people have like, like kind of like, said some stuff, that like kind of contradicts the idea. Like, let me see. I got a lot of certainly feels like it. It's a tough career. Someone's saying that's the word on the street. A bunch of yeses. Um, but
Wow.
um, but like I think I saw someone post something and I was like,
But 68 comments is kind of a lot. I mean,
kind of a
that's
lot. I'm
yeah.
scrolling through it. Like, someone said the J months, like June, July, are slower across the board for most retail because people are using their money for vacations and spending more time outdoors. It
For
should take,
retail, not
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Not
not
true.
true.
I don't think so.
Uh, should pick
At
back
least
up
not
in
for
August.
me. Not for
Uh,
me. No, I don't believe in that.
um,
I think those are actually have been two really good months.
mm,
But not for art necessarily, Maybe stuff. You said retail, but art-wise, I mean, I think it's been going on in my opinion, but okay.
got a comment like,
What else did they
the
say?
art market is recession proof. Rich people stay rich, and furthermore, rich people really love to feel richer than the rest.
But what art is that person talking about?
No idea.
Oh,
Uh,
they don't know what they're talking about. I
um,
mean, yeah, I mean, they're talking about like what, like
blue
Murakami
chip arts,
paintings?
like yeah, maybe blue chip art.
Yeah, but what about? I mean, what about the rest of the world? But that's not blue chip, I guess. That's what
Right.
we're talking about anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
right? We're kind of talking about that anyway. Anyway, okay, that's cool.
Someone believes that it's an
No,
election
no worries.
thing. Like, they
It
say.
could be, right?
Nicole Slater
It could be.
Consulting says, I think people are unsure of purchasing art due to the upcoming election.
It could
Purse
be.
strings for emerging and mid-career artists are tight.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree. I think so. It could be all of these things. I mean, but were there some that saying there's no recession except for
Just the
The J months
people,
person?
like just the people who are, like I think a lot of people who like look at it like for the on in terms of like, the big like stupid expensive like I stuff. But I remember there's this one guy whom I whose reels I've seen, and he would go on about how, like, the value of certain artists' work is dipping, which is
Oh,
never a good thing.
mm-hmm.
It cited this one specific artist whose artwork was like selling for like six digits, and then was barely able and was being sold at auction for 4 digits. Like, that's a significant, drop, or it could just be
Yeah,
coincidence.
yeah.
So, no, I am not in the 6 digit bracket. So,
But isn't the China like I always hear the China market is not doing so well? I've heard that the
right.
China art market. Well, that's
Well, but you just
is that
need.
because that's not because it's an election year.
Well, no, I mean, like that's because of,
They have their own crash going on, but
they have their
it's
own issues over there.
but
Yeah.
like put it this way, I haven't every Chinese art buyer from like mainland China, they don't write back, right?
Mm,
They're any email to them is unanswered now. Like
wow.
they don't even write back and say sorry, no, or they just it's a ghosting.
Right.
So no, I don't, it's hard to say. But I mean, 68 responses is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A
But
majority,
yeah,
a majority of it, the responses feel like it is one. So,
yeah, that's gnarly. Well, so then you know that you are not alone or we are not alone. It's kind
oh,
of
no.
maybe it's happening.
Like,
Or I mean, again, the election year thing, it could be. But
Mike
then
Gregg's
what
gallery had a
happens?
comment. UHF
Uh-huh.
gallery said, we talk with a lot of galleries, and that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's what they
But
said.
what happens in an election year? Because I've heard this too. So
Well, there's
after
a
the
lot of
elections,
social uncertainty, right?
but after the election's over, then what? All of a sudden everyone starts buying shit, or no, right? It's just like it depends who wins.
I think so.
So if Biden wins, are people going to spend money?
I don't know.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what does that make a difference? Like, what, who wins? Does that change everything? Like, all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, Biden won. Okay. Or, well, let's say it's somebody else.
Mm,
It's not Biden and it's so and so wins. Let's just say. But
right.
then does that mean people are like, the floodgates are open? The election's over. I'm going to start spending. I don't know if it works that way.
I don't know. I don't. I,
Like, that's not, I don't think that it doesn't turn on a dime like that. It's like, oh, yeah, the election's over. We can go out to eat now.
well, I
No, it
guess it
doesn't.
depends on the
That's not like,
policies that they're promoting, right?
yeah. So
And
if let's say the other guy wins,
Trump.
and let's say he wins. I mean, he wants, maybe there'll be more of an artificial inflated economy or whatever it is. Does that mean people are going to spend more money? Like, I don't quite understand how that works. I'm not an economist, but
Mm,
at the same time, it just makes me feel weird that saying that's one thing, but like, what's the actual result of the election being over?
right.
I
Right.
don't, I don't quite know. It's just uncertainty, and maybe it's just the uncertainty.
Yeah.
If you're not
Yeah.
certain what's going to happen, so therefore save your money because there might be an apocalypse.
Sure. Sure.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
maybe, right, or some kind of a paranoia of that. Even though it probably, I mean, that might not happen, but it might. So
It
I
might.
don't
It
know.
might.
Maybe it's just that it's that kind of uncertainty. Crazy world's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and your money's not going to help you maybe at that point. Every zombie movie I've seen, money doesn't seem to help.
No, you gotta save up all your save up. You gotta like stockpile cartons of cigarettes because you're gonna be using prison currency.
I think the person who has all the bicycles might be the champ.
Mm.
Like gas will probably be hard to get or it'll run out. Whoever has
Mm.
all the bicycles.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Bicycles are going to be currency
I
because
don't know.
you could outrun the zombies with a bicycle.
I think certain preserved foods will be. I think beef jerky will be the currency.
Beef jerky or canned tuna, maybe.
Gross. Like I don't. It would take a lot for me to want to eat. Be okay with eating canned tuna.
What about canned chicken?
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I have a weird thing with canned meats
I
or
see.
canned foods in general.
But you like beef jerky.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's all good.
Uh,
It's all
uh,
preserved stuff.
But on that note, guys,
Yeah.
let's
Oh, yeah. Wow. We went past an hour
yeah, let's call it
just like
quits.
that. We'll
Yeah.
call it.
Well, this is 2 weeks in a row, Eric. Are we
Yeah.
going to try and make it 3?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I
Yep.
think the challenge of it is what makes us do it. The fact that it's a challenge is more
Like, look
amazing.
at us. Like, look at how late we were doing. Do we have any other questions that need addressing?
Not really. There was one, but have either of you thought about teaming up with animators to create an anime with your own original characters? No, for me. You did it.
I thought about I tried it, but like it didn't really work out.
There you go.
We had an issue with the animation guy.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. So and we did a Kickstarter, it got funded, and the third person it was me, Patrick, and another guy, and the other guy fucking bailed on us.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
But you made an animation, right?
We did like some promotional animation stuff, but like it just didn't
So what happened to the Kickstarter money?
well, most of the money, a good chunk of the money went to the rewards.
Oh yeah, the figures.
Yeah. So
Wait, I have. Oh, it's not in this room.
mm.
I have a Kush.
Oh, you do. Oh, you
Yeah.
got one of the big ones?
I don't know. I got some big pill container and a bunch of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we did the Kush pill container ones. It's like
Yeah,
it's
I got
green
the
flocks
Kush,
and
and
everything.
I'm famously the last person to get the reward. Literally, I think I was the last to get it.
Like you had to bug Liz and Patrick
No,
for
no,
it.
no, no. I think it was one of those things that I was supposed to get. I didn't. I was going to pick it up, didn't pick it up, and it sat and sat and sat, and all of a sudden I was like, dude, we still have this. Like, can you please get this?
Oh, by the way, I saw the video of the book. It looks good.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to be a Whopper.
Yeah. Are you going to
We'll see.
have a sample to look at for DesignerCon? Or not
No,
DesignerCon,
at Comic
for
Con.
Comic-Con?
Yeah, San Diego Comic Con. I'm gonna have my we have preview copies for sale.
Whoa. Are they going to be a sale at your booth, or are they
Ooh.
going to be for sale at the Drawn Quarterly?
My booth, because John Quarterly doesn't have a booth.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
they stopped coming, and last year was the first year of them not coming at all.
A lot of people bailing. A lot of people. A lot of.
Well, I mean, they're in Montreal, and
Yeah.
it's just really tough for them to do it.
Yeah.
But they've done it forever. Like they've done it every year for like 25 years or something, and they decide to stop. So you know,
Yeah.
that's where I pick up the pieces. No, just I got some books.
Excellent. Alrighty,
And
guys.
it's just, and those books, it's like strange because like I have to, they're only at Comic Con. Like I can't sell them. Like if let's say if I have any left, I have to hold on to them until they come out.
Oh, no way. That was the contract?
Well, it's like October. It comes out October 22nd. And this is the preview time. So those who go to San Diego can get a copy, and then, but they can't get it like a day after that.
So I'm going to have to wait on my copy.
I have no idea.
There we go.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys.
Oh yeah, man.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And
alrighty.
We got to work on eventually. We got to work on our sign out.
Yeah.
So
because we don't have one.
We don't have one.
No. Okay. Thanks much, everybody.